Black and brown New Yorkers are getting their homes stolen from them through deed theft fraud. Stay with me. Can you guess who are the people that are stealing black and brown folks' homes in New York City?
I don't know if you guys have come across this word, deed theft, which simply means taking people's homes, houses from them through fraud, forcefully taking it from them, and of course reselling it to other people. It hurts me so bad, knowing fully well that black and brown people are currently losing their houses. Information has it that from 2023 to 2026, it has increased to over 240%. That is the rate at which black owners are losing their houses to these people. Well, let's take a look at the videos and please leave me your thoughts in the comments. Do not support any form of bullying or harassment. This content is for educational purposes and of course, creating awareness on the recent trends happening on social medias. Please watch these videos.
New York City Councilman Chi Ose was arrested today while defending his constituent from deed theft. But why was he arrested? Carmela Charrington was sent to Rikers Island for fighting to keep her home due to deed theft, which is a pervasive issue in New York City.
They gave me a letter for 10 days and told me I had 10 days to move.
That's what Carmela Charrington says happened to her in January. She learned a family member sold a property partially owned by her father and maintained by her family.
I went to the district attorney. I went to everyone like, hey, there's some fraud here. These people are not the owners of these properties.
Carmela soon learns that she is not alone in this fight.
I sit out here with my son. It says, stop stealing our brownstones now. Every day someone is talking to me about it.
According to the New York City Sheriff's Office, more than 1,500 Brooklynites have reported deed theft over the past decade.
Black families survived redlining. We survived divestment. We built wealth anyway, brick by brick, generation by generation. And now someone is stealing it, literally. It's called deed theft, and the system usually built to work against us is doing exactly what it was designed to do. You own your home. Maybe you owned it for decades. Maybe your parents left it to you. The mortgage is paid off or close to it. That home is your family's equity and your generational wealth. A scammer shows up. Sometimes it's a stranger, sometimes it's someone from your church, sometimes it's a lawyer. They present paperwork, a loan modification, a refinancing agreement, a routine form you sign. What you didn't know is that buried in that stack of paperwork was a deed transfer. Your home now belongs to them. But by the time you figure out what happened, they've already moved to sell it.
Deed theft, where homeowners are essentially tricked out of their properties, has been a pervasive problem for a few years now. And now this group is rallying outside the governor's office, demanding that she do something about it.
My father and I worked really hard. We scraped and we saved and we purchased our home legally and legitimately.
Rachel Cyprian was shaking mad as she spoke with us outside the governor's office about the devastating impact of her 15-year fight to reclaim ownership of her Brooklyn home following deed theft.
It leads to homelessness. It leads to depression. It leads to all sorts of failures. Here we are, black people, in this country now for over 400 years, and we're constantly starting from square one.
This is happening right now in Bed-Stuy, in Crown Heights, in Harlem, in Southeast Queens. The same neighborhoods that were redlined, marked in red on federal maps, and denied mortgages for decades are now being targeted again. Different method, same result, black wealth extracted. Complaints to the New York Attorney General's office jumped 240% between 2023 and 2025. Over the last decade, Brooklyn alone filed more deed theft complaints than any borough in the city. Most common targets: seniors, women, family without formal wills or estate plans, people who built wealth outside a system that was never built for them, and now who have fewer legal resources to fight back. It's extremely predatory because the typical deed theft case takes 300 attorney hours and up to 7 years to resolve. These criminals are counting on you not having the time or money to fight. New York passed new laws in 2024, classifying deed theft as grand larceny. The AG's office made its first indictments under that law in 2025, so there is some progress. But the legal services providers fighting these cases are overwhelmed and underfunded. Evictions are still moving forward while ownership is in dispute. Families are losing. The same communities that survived every attempt to strip their wealth are being targeted again, this time with forged paperwork instead of redline maps. Know your deed. Check it on the ACRIS. Sign up for the city's registrar's notification program so you're alerted when everything is recorded against your property. Share this because the people doing this are counting on you not knowing it exists and not knowing your resources and not knowing your options. Do not sign any paperwork for anybody who shows up to your house. And if you don't know or understand something, there are resources for you to find out. Stay blessed.
Black and brown New Yorkers are getting their homes stolen from them through deed theft fraud. Stay with me. Can you guess who are the people that are stealing black and brown folks' homes in New York City through deed theft? I'll give you a hint. Remember, there was a group of people overseas that said that they were entitled to a certain land because it was prophesied in a certain book. So much so that to this very day, they actually walk into innocent people's homes and tell those people that those homes are, in fact, their homes by birthright. Those same people, because our government was giving them money and aid and still doing that, have enacted what is known as a genocide. Because if y'all remember during the election when we said, hey, we don't need to be aligning with those folks, we actually should make sure that our politicians pull away from those folks. People said, hey, that's a single issue and that has nothing to do with us. Let's ask Carmela, a black woman who was just released from Rikers Island because a judge threw her in jail while this black woman was fighting deed theft.
What was happening is that this is a form of deed theft by conservatorship, guardianship that he mentioned. The conservatorship was in the state of Georgia. Georgia signed off with these shell developers and signed off and said that the property was for sale. They sold the property. It was in litigation. It was in court. They discontinued the case, and then they went amongst each other and signed off and said that they sold the property for whatever amount, and then they came into my house and broke in and said we're the new owners of the property.
I am tagging Scourge's page. He is from Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn, born and raised, and he has been sharing these videos and these stories of deed theft. I will also put some of his videos in my caption because we can't let this continue. It always has something to do with us.
Something deeply nefarious is happening to black and brown people in New York City, and I need everyone to lock in. It's called deed theft. Deed theft is when scammers try to trick homeowners into signing over their property titles, and they often target seniors or vulnerable homeowners in gentrifying neighborhoods. And between the years of 2023 to 2025, these complaints increased 240%. A Jewish man by the name of Sanford Sloaney was sentenced to 7 years in prison after years of preying on black and brown people. He stole their homes and made hundreds of thousands of dollars in rent. And the judge gave him 7 years in prison. He got to keep the hundreds of thousands of dollars he made off of rent from these homes that he stole from black and brown people. I want people to understand that these people that he stole from, their homes from, are hardworking, low-income black and brown people. They're incredibly vulnerable. And this man was able to forge paperwork and just steal their property titles. And he's not the only one. Watch this video of another Jewish man tried to steal the home of another vulnerable black and brown family as he's confronted.
Inspection of the house.
Ain't no inspection. You don't own the house. Get out of here. You don't own nothing.
You know this is a court order.
Like a court order.
Must vacate.
No, get out of here. Fake ass court order. Look at this nigga trying to scam. This guy's been here for years. Get out of here, bro. Get out of here. He's born here. Get out of here. When they call the cops, you came, the cops came, they did nothing. Get out of here. Yo, oh yeah. I don't know if you know this guy trying to scam. We're not playing over here. We're not playing. We don't give a fuck about that little fake ass hat. We're not his fucking hat on. We're not playing. You heard me? We're not playing.
I understand.
I'm trying to play. I'm trying to get him the fuck out.
Deed theft is a serious issue. Many of these predators go visit Israel and they see firsthand how Israeli settlers are able to steal the homes of Palestinians with full impunity. And then they come back home to Brooklyn and they are emboldened and they prey on poor and low-income black and brown families and senior citizens. And one of the biggest issues is that these predators are in the same networks with the judges. Sanford Sloaney was a former lawyer. He was disbarred. He is in networks with these judges and these courts. That's why the judge ruled that he can keep the hundreds of thousands of dollars that he made off of rent from the homes that he stole. He should have been ordered to give that money back to the families that he stole from. It's important that we educate ourselves and our families to prevent this from happening to us.
In New York, deed theft complaints have increased by 240%. Now, this is when someone steals your house by forging the deed. I'm gonna play a video of this lady. She fought 15 years to get her house back.
My father and I worked really hard. We scraped and we saved and we purchased our home legally and legitimately.
Rachel Cyprian was shaking mad as she spoke with us outside the governor's office about the devastating impact of her 15-year fight to reclaim ownership of her Brooklyn home following deed theft.
It leads to homelessness. It leads to depression. It leads to all sorts of failures. Here we are, black people, in this country now for over 400 years, and we're constantly starting from square one.
When do we want it?
Now Brooklyn City Councilman Chio Say is pressing the governor to put a moratorium on evictions where there's a deed theft case pending or being investigated.
We are pleading to the governor, to the head of the state, to do right by all of us, to do right by black New Yorkers, and to do your job.
Kids say they will press on for more reform and that immediate moratorium.
Moratorium now! Moratorium now! Governor Hochul, it is now at your door. Yes. Right. What are you going to do to keep black families in their home? That's it. That's all I want to hear.
14 to 15 years fighting to get her house back. Like she said, it seems like it's always a reset. You give your blood, you give your sweat and tears only for somebody to swindle it out from you, right? And we all know generational wealth, the first step of generational wealth is home ownership. And this is what they're targeting black Americans in New York, specifically taking away the home ownership through deed theft. Now, the complaints only increased because people learned where to file these complaints at. So what about all the black Americans' houses that been stolen through deed theft that they didn't know where to file this complaint at? You could tell it's hundreds, maybe even thousands this happened to just because they didn't know where to file the complaint or what to look for. Now, what is the government in New York doing to protect these deed thefts from happening? Specifically, for everybody, but specifically for black Americans, since this is the population that they're specifically targeting the most. Where's the campaign for that? Where's the protest for that? Where's the change for that? And at the same time, they're consistently raising the property tax on homeowners. So you're still in their homes, you're raising the property taxes on them, but you're not providing no protections for them. This deed theft thing, this should already been corrected. That black lady said she's been fighting for 15 years, 14 to 15 years to get her home back. And y'all haven't put any protections in place. And the only reason why this is getting highlighted or any recognition is because people figured out how to file a complaint.
It's all up, just how we respect our trauma. That's it, we good. It's all good, it's all good.
Hi, yes. I just want to say that the black community, and I think I speak for every single black person in the black community, is that we are fed up. Everyone wants us to be calm when it's our blood that is shedding on these streets. This is unacceptable. You need not be a genius to know to push an individual out of a wheelchair. What bothered me the most was how comfortable these men were in being disrespectful to the men in my community. The men in our community are good enough to go to jail, and other people don't go to jail. Daniel Penny didn't go to jail. Daniel Pantaleo didn't go to jail. But Trayvon Martin is dead, and how we keep being disrespected. We are all here. We keep saying, let's live in peace, let's live in peace. You want us to live peacefully when you keep doing us harm. We're losing our homes because of a lot of these people from the Jewish community are stealing our deeds, and nothing is happening. You're hurting our black men. Stop. You're leaving me vulnerable. This is wrong on every single level. Stop asking me to be quiet and to suffer peacefully. I can't suffer peacefully. Arrest these men, send them to jail, and let us live. You're gentrifying Brooklyn. You're making it hard for us to live, and you want us to come here and smile and hold hands and say kumbaya. We're not gonna say kumbaya.
Deed theft. It's been an ongoing issue with these people, and I hate to put them all in one category, but it's true. Like they in the West Bank and occupying the region out there, terrorizing and torturing the inhabitants who have been in these areas for centuries, not decades, centuries. These settlers, they look like some type of, I don't know what the heck, they look like zombies, some type of like, I don't know, not even human, like some type of species tormenting and torturing the occupied areas that they are in and making these people's lives miserable so they'll leave. And in Brooklyn, New York, they are doing something similar, but they just playing with the courts. They are systematically filing paperwork and evicting people from their homes. And it's been an ongoing issue for decades. They've been doing this. This is not nothing new. They've been doing this since the 90s. Since the early 2000s, they've been doing it. But they just turned it up. For some reason, they just turned it up and increased the filings and increased the evictions. And now it's coming to the attention of the media, and everybody's like, well, wait, well, what's going on? These Hasidic or whatever they are, I don't know what they are, but they're thieves. That's what I do know. I don't really know that Orthodox Jews or whatever they are, but they're thieves. They are working in conjunction with the courts and the sheriff's department. They're filing bogus paperwork. They're paying people off and getting their paperwork pushed through the courts and illegally evicting people from their homes. And if you go back and look at the documents and look at all the details, you'll see that. They be creating bogus bills, creating a bunch of bullshit and filing it, and the judge, she's on the take, stamping it with her seal and sending it off to the sheriff's department. They're on the take. Everybody's getting a little piece. And they are displacing black and brown people by the thousands. Thousands of people have lost their homes in this manner. It's an ongoing epidemic. And these people are thieves. Everywhere they go, they steal and kill. Everywhere they go. They populate the area. They're like cockroaches. And I hate to say that, but they are. They're like cockroaches. They populate the area. They manipulate the system. And I'm glad that they're finally shining a light on it, because they need to be exposed and they need to be arrested and they need to be prosecuted and they need to be convicted. And ultimately, they need to return those homes back to the rightful owners, even if that person is dead, their estate. That is generational wealth that's being stolen. Their children, their grandchildren, their grandchildren's children, those are their family homes. And they need to go back to the rightful owners and give them back their family homes. Shit, it's pissing me off. I don't like that. I don't like that. And then these people walk around like, well, we didn't know. Yeah, you did. You've been filing paper. You've been on the take for decades. You've been stealing. Follow the paper trail. Follow the money. Get the warrants for these bank accounts and you'll see. It's in black and white. Like, just follow the money and you'll see exactly who's doing what, when, where, and how. Anyway.
When gentrification happens, everybody says you should have bought a home. But what happens when your home gets stolen from you? Well, I'm in Bedside, Brooklyn, and I'm here to talk about deed theft. I'm at 212 Jefferson Avenue, and unfortunately, the family that lives here is experiencing deed theft. But what is deed theft? Deed theft is a type of real estate fraud where someone illegally transfers ownership of a property into their name without the original owner knowing. Deed theft typically happens by targeting vulnerable properties such as homes owned outright, meaning they don't have a mortgage, vacant properties or second homes, and elderly owners, especially elderly owners, because they're usually not on top of their paperwork. They also sometimes forge documents, or sometimes they file documents to the city saying they own the property. After owning your property, they might sell the house to an unsuspecting buyer, or they might actually take out loans using your property as collateral. Or they could even rent it out and collect money on your property. The craziest part about deed theft is that you might not even know that your house actually was a victim of deed theft until months later when the police show up and they tell you have to leave the property.
Hi, my name is Carmela Charrington. I live at 212 Jefferson.
My name is Ray Cortez. My father's a victim of deed theft at 91 St. Mark's Place.
200 Jefferson Avenue, Block Association president. We've just been working with our community to help protect our neighbors.
I'm Chief Minister Omar Hardy. I'm the owner, in fact, of the Slave Theater and the Black Lady Theater as well. The Slave Theater was knocked down unlawfully and stolen from my family and the community by way of deed theft. And as well as the Black Lady Theater, stolen as well and away from my family and the community.
Hi, my name is Tashelle LeBlanc. I am an honorary resident of 212, Kamala's lifetime friend, 42 years.
This is a form of deed theft by conservatorship, guardianship. The conservatorship was in the state of Georgia. Georgia signed off with these shell developers and signed off and said that the property was for sale. They sold the property. It was in a litigation. It was in court. They discontinued the case, and then they went amongst each other and signed off and said that they sold the property for whatever amount. And then they came into my house and broke in and said, "We're the new owners of the property." Right.
Wow.
And then that's when the series of stuff have started with saying, no, this is a deed theft case.
As a Bed-Stuy native, I stand with 212 Jefferson Avenue, and I want to keep people in Bed-Stuy, so I want this story to be told. Can you tell me a little bit about the story and what's going on here?
Sure, absolutely. Well, what's happening is that this is a form of deed theft by conservatorship, guardianship that he mentioned. The conservatorship was in the state of Georgia. Georgia signed off with these shell developers and signed off and said that the property was for sale. They sold the property. It was in a litigation. It was in court. They discontinued the case, and then they went amongst each other and signed off and said that they sold the property for whatever amount. And then they came into my house and broke in and said, "We're the new owners of the property." Right.
Wow.
And then that's when the series of stuff have started with saying, no, this is a deed theft case. Like, how does a conservative from Georgia able to sign off without petitioning the state of New York for a sale? None of those things were done. But because they thought that we wouldn't know, we're not educated enough, we don't have legal representation, proper legal representation, they were able to do it. And every time we went in front of the courts, we were being denied. Because they're compromised. These developers know the judges.
That's crazy.
So even up to the appellate, and that's when I decided we're gonna stay down. I went to the appellate, one of the highest courts, and I said, I need you to just stay in eviction and allow me to argue my case. The lady said to me, I'll allow you to argue your case, but they're going forward with the eviction. I said, what?
What?
I said, wait. I said, what? I said, at that point, I came home. I see my president. He was standing right here. I said, we get ready to do a 24-hour takeover. That's it. Like, if you not allowing me, if you telling me that, this is what we about to do. And that's exactly what we did.
And how long you been living here?
This house been in our family for 60 years. This was my great uncle's and my grandmother's house is right there. We had two houses.
Wow.
On the block. 60 years.
Look what they do to people living 60 years
60
here.
60 years, yeah. And don't you get tired of hearing that story all the time?
I'm tired of hearing it.
Me too. This used to be a thriving black community. This used to be a thriving... Why? We got to take our stuff back. No more. That is not going to be the storyline anymore. It has to stop.
Yeah, I 100%
we thank
agree.
You. We thank you for what you do.
To be very honest, this is very heartbreaking. And the fact that Black New Yorkers are crashing out and complaining that their homes are being stolen from them. And I also learned that Councilman Chi Ose was arrested today for fighting to help one of his constituents to keep a home that's been in her family for over 60 years who got shipped to Rikers. So these are what these guys have been doing to Black people. And in most cases, they cannot express themselves. They don't even have people to cry to because it's more like they know exactly what they are doing. Can you imagine someone that has owned a house for over 60 years and you wants to forcefully take the house from them? You want to forcefully take the house from them. That is how these guys have succeeded in destroying Black community. They just go ahead burning everything, destroying everything, trying to make Black people to be homeless. Like, it doesn't even make sense. What sort of bully and stealing is this? Like, I to be honest, this is my first time hearing the word deed theft, and I could not comprehend. I couldn't just put myself together to make a proper video, because it hurt me so bad knowing that these are probably what your ancestors left for you, and these guys will take it from you and then they will resell it, leaving you homeless, abandoning you. It doesn't even make sense at all. It doesn't make sense at all. Please share this video so that people would see what is going on. The help might come across to especially Black New Yorkers. Black and brown people are the ones facing these grievous acts and actions from these thieves. According to what I saw, they said from 2023 to 2026, over 240%. It increased to over 240%. That means the rate at which people are stealing Black people's homes right now and forcefully taking it away from them, they will take it from you because they know that you can't do anything about it. They will forcefully take the homes from you and then resell it to people. I don't think they occupy it. I think they resell it to make money. And when the time is ripe, they would also take again from another person and resell, trying to render Black people homeless. These actions of theirs are barbaric, and it should not be encouraged or even discussed at all. It should not be discussed at all. I frown so bad at it, knowing even some of them crying, sharing their very horrible experiences on how these guys, they deceive some people, why they forcefully take others. And then people feeling helpless that these are things your fathers, your mothers left for you, and you don't even have right. You cannot even get it back. It's even more hot. I don't know, like more. It's inhuman. It's inhuman attitude, and I feel like, especially Black Americans, they are the ones that made America what they are today. They built America. So you treating them bad simply because they are not light skinned is you trying to like I don't know, like I'm trying to look for the word that can suit how I feel emotionally. It's bad. It's bad. And they need to create awareness so that these things can stop. These things need to stop. This needs to stop before it gets out of hand. People are losing their homes on a daily basis and crashing out on the media. It doesn't even make sense. Please don't leave me your thoughts in the comment section based on the videos here. And of course, the cancer man, Chiose, right, that got arrested for trying to help a woman recover her home that she has owned for over 60 years through this deed theft. And let me know in the comments, have you come across the word before, deed theft? What are your thoughts on it? Are you a victim of that? Because a lot of people are already commenting under the comment sections of the videos that they took my house from me. Like a lot of comments on this video that this is why I'm homeless, they stole from me, all that. And it's an emotional moment for them all. Remember, we do not support any form of bullying or harassment. This content is for educational purposes and, of course, creating awareness on the recent trends happening on social media. Kindly like, share, and subscribe. I'm going to see you in my next video. Bye, guys.